Kevin Costner determined to leave Yellowstone Feud behind him. Kevin Costner is not holding on to any grudges in 2025. The 69-year-old is determined to put all the drama that came from his exit from the neo-Western series Yellowstone behind him. Kevin's character, Dutton family patriarch John Dutton, was killed off in the show's final season after the actor decided to leave the series due to scheduling conflicts between Yellowstone and his passion project Horizons. His departure from the show stirred rumors of behind-the-scenes drama between him and showrunner Taylor Sheridan and co-star Luke Grimes, who plays his on-screen son. A source told Life and Style that Kevin is being intentional about getting a fresh start in 2025. Kevin's departure from Yellowstone shocked fans and rocked production, causing a rift between him and his co-stars. With the final season being split into 2 parts, Kevin's shooting schedule for Horizons cut into his schedule for Yellowstone. Reports of him being difficult to work with and demanding that the second half of the 5th season be filmed in under 2 weeks began to make the rounds online, stoking the flames of a potential feud. It seems the actor has bigger things to worry about these days. The first chapter of Horizons, which is a 4-part Western film series, ended up being a major flop at the box office despite its whopping $100 million budget. Chapter 2's theatrical release was canceled and went straight to home video, getting a mere $11 million. The source told Life and Style that the bodyguard actor is not going to keep warring the Yellowstone franchise now that he's officially exited the show, especially since his character was written out of the series. Instead of focusing on the past, Kevin is looking toward the future. He's putting all that behind him and focused on rescuing his in-progress Horizon, an American saga film series, and clawing back more of the massive investment he and his partners have put into it. The Christ Montana air clung to Kevin Costner as he stood at the edge of a sprawling ranch, his eyes tracing the horizon. This wasn't just any ranch, but a metaphorical stage for the storm that had brewed around Yellowstone, the show that had brought him both acclaim and consternation. The feud that erupted behind the scenes had taken on a life of its own, a relentless narrative that seemed intent on overshadowing his illustrious career. But today, Costner resolved it was time to leave all of that behind. For months, headlines had painted him as the central figure in the discord. Creative differences, contract disputes, and whispers of bruised egos had played out in the public eye. Costner, however, had grown weary of the noise. "The truth doesn't live in tabloids," he muttered under his breath, his voice barely rising above the gentle rustling of the wind. In his hands, he held a leather-bound journal, his sanctuary. It was filled with sketches of new projects, ideas for films, and reflections on the challenges he'd faced. He flicked to a page he had marked weeks ago, a quote he'd written down. "The greatest act of courage is to move forward when the past demands your attention." A step toward peace. Costner wasn't just walking away from the feud. He was sprinting toward something bigger, something that reminded him why he had fallen in love with storytelling in the first place. He had always seen himself as more than an actor. He was a director, a producer, and above all, a dreamer. The decision to put Yellowstone behind him wasn't easy. The show had become a cultural phenomenon, a cornerstone of modern television. It had also revived the rugged Western archetype, placing it squarely in the 21st century. But the series' success had come with its share of complications. Creative differences had become a diplomatic euphemism for the tension between Costner and the show's creators. In the beginning, Yellowstone had been a passion project, a chance to explore themes of loyalty, family, and legacy. As John Dutton, Costner had embodied a complex character, a man as flawed as he was formidable. But somewhere along the way, the creative vision diverged. It felt like we were building two different houses on the same foundation, Costner had confided to a close friend. Turning the page. Costner's decision to move on wasn't merely about escaping the feud. It was about reclaiming his narrative. He had spent decades in Hollywood, navigating its highs and lows. He had weathered box office bombs and celebrated Oscar wins, but this chapter felt different. The Montana ranch where he now stood wasn't part of the Yellowstone set. It was his personal retreat, a place where he could reconnect with the land and find solace in its simplicity. Over the past few weeks, he had begun sketching out ideas for a new project, a sweeping historical epic that would delve into the untold stories of the American frontier. "This is where my heart is," Costner said aloud, his voice steady. Healing through storytelling. As he walked along a narrow dirt path, the rhythm of his boots crunching against the gravel matched the cadence of his thoughts. Costner had always believed in the power of storytelling to heal, to bridge divides, and to inspire. His next venture would embody those ideals. The project was still in its infancy, but Costner was already assembling a team of writers, historians, and cinematographers who shared his vision. He envisioned a story that would capture the resilience of the human spirit, a narrative that would transcend the controversies of his recent past. It wasn't just about the audience, though. For Costner, this new endeavor was deeply personal, a way to channel his frustrations and transform them into something meaningful. Conversations and closure. Despite his determination to move forward, Costner knew he couldn't do so without addressing the unresolved tensions with Yellowstone's creators. A part of him bristled at the idea, but he understood the value of closure. One evening, he picked up the phone and dialed Taylor Sheridan's number. The conversation was neither easy nor immediate. There were moments of silence, moments of raised voices, and moments of tentative understanding. "I think we both wanted the same thing," Costner admitted during the call. "We just had different ways of getting there." Sheridan, too, acknowledged his part in the conflict. "It wasn't supposed to be like this," he said. The story deserved better than what happened behind the scenes. While they didn't resolve everything, the conversation marked a step toward mutual respect. For Costner, it was enough. Building a legacy back at the ranch, Costner returned to his journal. He jotted down a few lines about the conversation with Sheridan, noting its bittersweet undertones. As he wrote, he felt a sense of weight lifting off his shoulders. His thoughts drifted to his family, who had been his anchor throughout the turmoil. They had reminded him of his worth beyond the spotlight, of the joy found in simple moments. His children's laughter and his wife's unwavering support had been his refuge. "I want to leave something behind that they'll be proud of," he said softly. The road ahead. The sun dipped below the horizon, casting a warm, golden glow over the ranch. Costner stood on the porch, gazing out at the vast expanse of land. It was a fitting backdrop for the new chapter he was about to embark on, a reminder of the boundless possibilities that lay ahead. Leaving the Yellowstone feud behind didn't mean forgetting it. For Costner, it was a lesson in resilience, a testament to the importance of staying true to one's vision. As he turned his gaze to the stars, he felt a renewed sense of purpose. "Onward," he whispered, the word carrying with it a quiet determination. Kevin Costner was ready to move forward, not just as an actor, but as a storyteller, a creator, and a man who refused to let the past define his future.